Hey everyone, I'm Kelli Tennant and I'm kicking it today with Mr. Steve Nash. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna not talk basketball and get into soccer because I know it's one of your true loves. But first I have to ask you, after last year in my interview with you, are you gonna have any friends that are gonna jump in here and ruin this?
You never know with this group of guys. There's some candidates out there for sure.
Well, you made me a YouTube sensation, so I have to thank you.
I don't know if I should apologize or take credit.
You can take credit, it's okay. So I have to know where the soccer and the love came for you. I know it's kind of been a family affair. Both your brother and sister played. So how did that start?
My dad, my parents are English. My dad grew up in London. My mom and dad both kind of grew up in London, and my dad played professional or semi-pro soccer in England and South Africa. And he just is an incredible lover of the game and passed that on to us. My first word was goal as a baby, and I played soccer and all the way up pretty much until I was like 13, went to the 8th grade at a new school, and all my friends played basketball. And I was playing soccer and hockey, and I was missing out on what my friends were doing. So I started playing basketball to be with my friends, but soccer was definitely my first love.
Well, of course, I know you have skills because I saw you at the Showdown last year, both in New York and LA, and you brought a lot of basketball stars to soccer. How has it been for you to kind of integrate those guys into this soccer world that you're so a part of?
It's been kind of fun. I think it's been interesting to watch. When I first came into the NBA, this was a long time ago now, there wasn't much soccer on TV. It wasn't on the ticker or on SportsCenter, and we didn't really have a soccer channel per se, so it was really difficult to find it. So a lot of my teammates, they just didn't know anything about it, but now that it's around a lot more, we see it all over the place on TV, we see it, on mainstream channels and networks now. The guys are more interested because they're intrigued, the visibility is kind of, so you could have a conversation with the guy and explain things to him or tell him about this player or that team, and it's just a testament to how much the game has grown in this country and how exciting the prospects are for the future.
So the Showdown, I know, is a huge passion for you, and you'll be doing it again this year. How did you get that started and giving back to the kids in that way?
It was, I'd had my foundation going for 10 years now, and I'd been doing basketball games and different events, and I lived in New York City for a long time in the summers, and a friend of mine who's Italian, and between us we've gotten to know a lot of international soccer players, and so we thought, why don't we, this field that we both play on every, during the summer all the time, we said, why don't we get basketball players and soccer players and bring them together for a game here on this little kind of 7-a-side pitch in Manhattan and make it free for the public and kids, and at the same time raise some money for my foundation. And it just seemed like a really fun idea that would be fun for the basketball players to be around soccer players and fun for the soccer players to be around basketball players. And New York City obviously is an awesome place to hold an event like that in the summer. So it was just a silly kind of idea that ended up really making sense, and everyone's really enjoyed it. I think we've done it for now 6 or 7 years, so it keeps moving along.
Uber successful, definitely.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
We look at the Whitecaps, and we'll be talking about them on the 12th playing the Galaxy. I don't know if you'll be at that game. I think that was the game you were at last year in LA. But what do you see kind of moving forward this year with MLS? It's still early in the season, but that matchup and what we can expect.
Well, I think LA is, the kind of the standard bearer for the league. So we have, the utmost respect for the franchise and the players and coach Arena, and that's what we're striving to be as a team like that that's won multiple championships. And so I think we're growing. I think we have an exciting team this year. We have a lot of young prospects who will work their way into the lineup this year and for the years to come. And I think it's smart to build slowly. We're not necessarily a team that's going to buy a bunch of big, DPs, but at the same time, I think we got a really nice residency program that's developing young talent, and the mix of having some diamonds in the rough from around the world and grooming some young players. We would like to build something. Because I think when I watch the Galaxy play, typically over the last 4 or 5 years, there's confidence and understanding, a competitive that I think allows them to be continually better than their opponent, and that's what we're striving for, is that that knowing the things you see out of the San Antonio Spurs or the New England Patriots, and organizational, institutional excellence, and so that's what we're striving for.
I think as an athlete myself, I understand there's always similarities between so many sports. What do you see as the major similarities between soccer and basketball?
Well, I think physically I love the mobility and dynamism of the athletes, you know, their quickness and ability to change directions, and to that fluidity is always something that I enjoy. But the creativity, you know, the skill level, the vision, the anticipation, the subtleties and nuance of the game is what I always love to see, and I feel like there is a correlation from basketball to soccer in that respect, angles and space and all those things. So you know, I think soccer played a huge impact on my career as a basketball player and allowed me probably to become an NBA player.
All right, so if you had to rank the best players in the world in your eyes, who would you pick?
I think Messi's the best player in the world. I think Cristiano Ronaldo would be a good #1 choice as well. You know, I think my favorite player right now is Neymar. He's just such an incredible talent. His movement is amazing, what he can do with the ball, and how exciting he is. You know, I still think Messi's the best player in the world.
What do you think of Landon Donovan? I mean, the best player in the U.S. I mean, he's the guy. He's the epitome of soccer here.
And rightfully so. I mean, Landon is he's in a class by himself, and in many respects, as far as soccer goes in this country. And you know, there's a few guys that are, I think, that have played at that level that he's played at, and his longevity now. You know, he's done so much for the game in this country, and he's still, I think, going to be a major threat for the U.S. in the World Cup and for the Galaxy and the MLS. And you know, it's going to be a tough road for the U.S., but they got some real experienced, talented players, and him and Clint Dempsey and Michael Bradley and some of these guys. So I think U.S. fans should be excited, even though they're in a really tough group.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're
so
welcome.
good to talk soccer with you.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
That's Steve Nash, guys.